Good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me? Perfect. I am honored and privileged to be in GDIS 2024 and also on this stage. Super excited to talk to you about our first ever Chevrolet Blazer EV and its structural enablers. This vehicle brought home for us the 2024 SUV of the year. It was evaluated against 39 different crossovers with different sizes, different engines, and we stood alone on top. To bring home this honor, we came on top on 6 categories. First, safety, whether we had the features and enablers, the efficiency, which is about the operating cost, the weight, the speed of charge, and the range of mile that you get. Also, the value and advancement in design. If you look at this vehicle in terms of design and styling, it has awesome design proportions. It has a chiseled body line, and you will be surprised on how spacious the cabin size is. And also in terms of engineering excellence, fit and finish, and how well this vehicle really fits into day-to-day lifestyle of the customer. And also performance of intended function. At GM, our vision is a world with 0 crashes, 0 emission, and 0 congestion. We are positioned to design and release EVs for every style at every price point, and we are rapidly building a competitive advantage in batteries, software, vehicle integration, manufacturing, and customer experience. Now, I am fully caffeinated for this outline that I'm showing you here. I want to walk you through the crossover, BEV3 crossover architecture, walk you through the Blazer EV trim levels. We're going to get familiarized with our plant. We will go to the visual bill of material for body structure and the res. We will talk about the load management on front and rear and also the side. We will go through the stiffness. We'll talk about Gen 3 a little bit, and we will finish with joining and sealing strategies. So this is showing our BEV3 crossover architecture, which categorized into short BAFA and long BAFA. What is BAFA? Ball of foot to front axle is the BAFA. The difference between them is roughly 100 millimeters. And we have the short BAFA, which gives us the Buicks E4 and E5 Electra, Cadillac Optiq, and Chevrolet Equinox EV. And in the long BAFA, we have the Cadillac Lyriq, which I call the parent program of the Blazer EV. We have the Blazer EV, its joint venture sister, Honda Prologue and Acura ZDX, and we also have some future variants. This architecture is showing you not only it's covering a big bandwidth of mass, it is also multi-regional. It's going from segment C to segment D, and also it's global. So we have China, Shanghai Automotive Industry Corporation. We have plants in Mexico. We have our GMNA Spring Hill. And that shows the span of it. Walking you to the EV trim levels, this comes into 3 levels for the customers and also a police pursuit. And it is based on our groundbreaking Ultium platform. In terms of EPA certification, for an all-wheel drive, you get up to 279 miles for a range of full charge. And when it gets to rear-wheel drive, it goes up to 324. The plant is in Ramos, Mexico. In a matter of 5 months, this plant created a dedicated body shop for the BEV products. This plant is also producing ICE products like Chevy Blazer. Getting to the visual BizBomb, if you look on the top, you're seeing everything is red, showing the upper structure of this vehicle is all new, and it comes into 2 versions, the base roof, the metal roof, and sunroof, the glass. On the lower structure, there are parts that are carryover from the parent program, the Lyric, Cadillac Lyric. And I would like to draw your attention to the bottom right corner. There's a bandwidth of 500 kilogram on this vehicle that we are managing through having special front rails for high mass variants and also for low mass variants. We also managed to commonize some parts between the two. In terms of body structure, material composition, I want to get rid of the green up there right away. We have rocker extruded materials, aluminum extruded, 6082 with a T6 heat treatment, and going clockwise, we have mild steel, medium high strength steel, advanced high strength steel, and when it gets to ultra high strength steel, we have multi-phase, martensitic, and also Gen 3, which we will get through in a little bit. And also we have 11% of press hardened steel PHS. In the RES construction, RES stands for Rechargeable Energy Storage System. These are all carryover from our architectural platform and the parent program Cadillac. So I'm showing you an isometric view that shows the top part is the cover, the lattice, and the tray. In terms of the composition, needs a stand innovation here, right? All steel. We had martensitic steel, ultra high strength steel, medium high strength steel, and the top cover and the tray are medium high strength steel, bake hardened 270. Now, how are we managing the load? Our strategy was to manage the load between body and res in 2/3 and 1/3 proportions. So 2/3 of the load goes through the body and 1/3 goes to the battery, and I'm going to walk you through how. Before that, let me show you what are the parts here. Everything in blue is the cradle, front cradle and rear cradle. Everything in gray is the structure. You're doing a top view here, and the res is the orange. So as you can see, we have the cross members, 1 bar, 1.5 bar, and you keep counting. And I would like to draw your attention to the center tunnel. We had to provide some passage for our cooling lines. And in order to do that, we had interruption between some of our bars, which we compensated with co-forming the PHS with patch weld blanks. So now how the load is getting distributed in an event of a front crash. So for a full flat barrier engagement, the load goes through the front rail and then gets into the first bar, splits into the center tunnel and also the rocker. It's the same when it gets to the rear. The rear load gets through the rear rail and also through the rocker. We also have PHS, as I showed you in our composition here, which helps minimize the intrusion to the battery. So this is the topology of the battery. We are taking the cover off, we are taking the tray off, and what we are left with is the lattice. The cross members of the lattice and the ski rails and everything around is called halo. We have side halos, front and rear halos. And these attachment points are critical. All these attachment points, most of them are going through the PHS on the crossbar of the front floor. So now you can see how the two parts are talking to each other. And this is our enabler. We used a cradle bolt stabilizer, which is basically a shear plate. If you look at the connection, you will see it is connected between the cradle and the body on one point, and it is connected between the res and the body on 2 points, and provides a secondary shear to stabilize the load transfer. That's how we are taking the 30% of the load into the battery, integrated battery structure. So here I'm showing you the front and rear loading topology. You can see those are the connection points for the stabilizer that takes the load into those ski rails. Now, when it gets to the side loading, the aluminum extrusion that I talked to you about, that extrusion helps us uniformly distribute the load into all the cross members. We talked about that interruption in the tunnel center. And then when it gets to the res, it's the same thing. So aluminum rocker insert ensures that the force that the res sees, it's uniformly distributed. What about our body in white stiffness numbers? So as you can see in this chart, I have all four. The torsional stiffness increases as a function of the res pack. So I don't know if I talked about this or not, but we have a 10 module and a 12 module. The 10 module equals a 5 bay. So we talk about the distance between the cross members as the bay. When you have a 5 bay, you have 10 module. When you have a 6 bay, you have 12 module. So as your battery gets bigger and your roof structure gets stronger, stiffer, your number will go up. Your torsional stiffness goes up. And also in terms of performance, we are at 25.4 in bending. Now, speaking about the Gen 3 B-pillar AHSS application, we decided to use Gen 3 to reduce mass with equivalent vehicle performance to pass our IHS 2.0 and also roof crush, and we saved on cost using it. To facilitate this application, we created a unique GMW material spec that remains an industry benchmark. We have unique formings, such as adding stiffness beads that would minimize, that would have a compensation file for the spring back. And also we have a specific welding schedule. So in this image, if you cut through the B-pillar and look inside, you see that you have the B-pillar inner, the shear plate, some people call it compression plate, and also the B-pillar outer. And here I thought it would be good for you to see all the material in one spot. So you have the upper part, the Gen 3 1180, and you have the lower part, they are welded together. The main stamping is MP980 low carbon steel, low carbon equivalent, and then the shear plate or the reinforcement that I showed you on top in green, and seat belt retractor bracket 420 LA. So what about joining and sealing strategy? So in terms of joining, we are using resistant weld spots. We have roughly around 6,000 for lower and 2,700 for upper. Showing you the laser brazing that happens on the roof. It's between the roof and body side outer. We are using mix for the lower structure, and we have structural adhesive both in the lower and the upper section. In terms of sealing strategy, we are not doing anything out of ordinary. This is our typical execution. So as you can see, we have paint shop sealer, body shop sealer. We have hemming adhesive for on the roof for the sunroof version. And then we have LASD, anti-flutter dollops, and expanding adhesives. So Blazer EV continues the legacy of delivering EVs for our customers, which was first seen in 2017. Our Bolt 2017 also brought this award home. I would like to draw your attention to our Body in White property down in the hall. We also have a full vehicle. Please go take a look, and you can see the design and why it brought home the golden caliper for us. We also have a 12 mod Riz on display, which is very unique. You can see we cut the top so you can see the inside and the lattice. I would like to thank all of you for paying attention to this and being here with me. Thank you to the organizers for inviting me, and also special thanks to Art Raymond and Robert Cheney for helping with the material. I really appreciate it. GDES 2024, I won't forget this. Thank you.